Today. My parents forced me to hand over my engagement ring to my sister the next day. The truth exploded. D. The call that reveals the family dynamic Mom calls, not to wish her well, but to warn. Natalie is very emotional about still being single. Don't be too happy tonight. You know how she gets. Then, almost as an afterthought, oh, and your father is stressed about some bills. Don't bring up money. Gabrielle swallows the familiar hurt. Even tonight, she must shrink. Subtle hint. Not obvious. Getting ready, Gabrielle remembers something odd. Marcus sometimes mentions details about Natalie. Her favorite wine, her college roommate's name. Things Gabrielle never told him. She always assumed they talked at family dinners. She never considered another explanation. Cliffhanger. Gabrielle walked into the restaurant with quiet hope. Tonight would be different. Tonight she would finally be seen. She didn't notice her father checking his phone with trembling hands, waiting for a text that would signal when to begin. She didn't see her mother squeeze Natalie's arm in reassurance. And she certainly didn't catch the look that passed between her sister and her fiancé, a look that held secrets 2 years in the making. 3 weeks ago, her family had held a meeting about her future. She wasn't invited. Tonight, she would learn what they decided. Part 2. The public execution emotional climax. Objective. Push Gabrielle to absolute rock bottom plus maximum emotional devastation plus show betrayal in layers. Timeline. Evening. Engagement dinner at upscale restaurant. 30 guests. Key points to develop. A. The dinner shifts from celebration to ambush. The first hour goes smoothly. Gabrielle allows herself to relax, to believe she matters. Then her father stands and asks for attention. His voice is rehearsed. Cold. Before we celebrate, there's something important our family needs to address. Gabrielle's stomach drops. This isn't a toast. Her mother joins him, dabbing fake tears. B. The public indictment. They list Gabrielle's failures. Leaving home at 22, not staying nearby to support the family, being lucky with her career while Natalie struggled with health issues. The subtext is clear. Gabrielle is selfish. Natalie is the victim. Guests shift uncomfortably. Most don't know what to do. Gabrielle opens her mouth to respond, but her mother cuts her off. Please, let us finish. C. The ring is taken. Mother approaches with theatrical tears. This engagement ring. We think Natalie should have it. You have so much already. Your sister has nothing. Before Gabrielle can react, her mother takes her hand and slides the ring off her finger. Natalie stands, walks over with a practiced soft smile. Thank you, Gabby. This means everything. A few relatives, aunts and uncles who were briefed beforehand, clap awkwardly. Most guests sit in stunned silence, unsure if this is some kind of performance. D. Marcus completes the betrayal. Gabrielle turns to Marcus, desperate for him to say something. He won't meet her eyes. Finally, he mumbles. Maybe your family has a point, Gabby. You've always been. A lot. He doesn't move to Natalie's side. Not yet. He's too calculating for that. But his silence says everything. E. Gabrielle's exit with dignity. She doesn't scream. She doesn't cry. She stands slowly, picks up her purse, and looks at each of them. Her voice is steady despite the earthquake inside her. Thank you for finally showing me exactly where I stand in this family. She walks out. The room is silent. No one follows. No one calls her name. Her parents exchange confused glances. This wasn't the reaction they expected. She was supposed to apologize. She was supposed to offer money. Thumbnail text. 1 week later, brief flash forward before cliffhanger. Gabrielle sees it on social media. Marcus and Natalie holding hands with a caption, "Sometimes love finds you in unexpected places." The comments are full of congratulations. No one mentions Gabrielle. It's like she never existed. Cliffhanger. That night, alone in her dark apartment, Gabrielle finally allowed herself to cry. Not delicate tears, ugly, body-shaking sobs that had been building for 36 years. But sometime before dawn, the tears stopped. And in the silence, she remembered Grandma Eleanor's words. I've made sure of it. Made sure of what? Gabrielle sat up. Her grandmother had been many things, but never careless with words. If she said she'd made sure of something, she meant it. By 6 a.m., Gabrielle was searching through old boxes. By 7 a.m., she found what she was looking for, a faded business card for an estate attorney named Harrison. By 8 a.m., she was dialing his number. Part 3. The truth beneath the lie's major twist. Turning point. Objective. Complete power reversal plus reveal full conspiracy plus transform Gabrielle from victim to strategist. Timeline. The morning after the dinner through 2 weeks later. Key points to develop. A. Gabrielle takes control of her own story. The phone rings twice before a receptionist answers. Gabrielle explains who she is. There's a pause then. Please hold. Seconds later, a man's voice, older, surprised. Gabrielle Stevens? I've been trying to reach you for 10 years. Gabrielle's hands go cold. What do you mean? The attorney, Mr. Harrison sounds both relieved and angry. Your father told me you wanted nothing to do with your grandmother's estate. He said you were too busy with your career to be bothered. I sent letters, dozens of them, to your family's address. He said you refused them all. B. Twist Hassone. The inheritance her father stole. At the attorney's office, Gabrielle sees the truth in black and white. Grandma Eleanor created a revocable living trust specifically designed to protect Gabrielle. Contents. The family heirloom diamond ring, appraised at $85,000, and $120,000 in savings. The trust includes a personal note in Eleanor's handwriting. Gabrielle is the only grandchild who never asked for anything, which is exactly why she deserves everything. She has been the invisible backbone of this family. It's time someone saw her. Her father, as trustee, was legally required to distribute these assets when Gabrielle turned 30. That was 6 years ago. He told her grandma left nothing. He intercepted every letter from the attorney. He kept everything. See Twist #2. The full conspiracy revealed Mr. Harrison shares more. 3 years ago, someone else contacted my office, multiple times, asking very specific questions about the trust, what it contained, who could access it, whether it could be contested. The caller identified herself as a concerned family member. It was Natalie. Gabrielle's mind races, connecting pieces. 3 years ago was when Natalie suddenly became friendly again, when she started inviting Gabrielle to family events. At my engagement dinner, my parents stood up and said, "Your sister deserves this ring more than you." They slid it off my finger and placed it on hers. My fiancé just watched. Everyone clapped. But the next morning, a single phone call revealed a secret that destroyed everything they thought they'd won. When she introduced her to Marcus, everything was calculated. Mr. Harrison continues, I didn't give her any information, of course, but I did note that she seemed to believe she was entitled to the inheritance. She was. Quite upset when I explained the trust terms were unchangeable. D. The financial leverage. Gabrielle never knew she had. Gabrielle pulls out her own records. 8 years of bank statements showing $268,800 in mortgage payments. She'd been the only thing keeping her parents' house from foreclosure. The mortgage refinancing is due in 3 months. Without her income as co-signer, and without her continued payments, her parents won't qualify. For the first time, Gabrielle sees the full picture. She was never the weak one. She was the foundation. They just made sure she never knew it. E. Gabrielle's strategic response. She takes a breath, then another. The old Gabrielle would have called her parents, crying, demanding explanations. This Gabrielle is done explaining. She is done begging to be seen. She asks Mr. Harrison to 1. Send a formal demand letter for all trust assets, including the ring. Natalie has 30 days to comply or face civil lawsuit. 2. Document everything about her father's breach of fiduciary duty for potential legal action. 3. Prepare paperwork confirming she will not co-sign the mortgage refinancing. I'm not seeking revenge, she says quietly. I'm simply done being the foundation for people who pretend I don't exist. Cliffhanger. 3 months later, Richard Stevens opened 2 envelopes on the same day. The first was from Mr. Harrison's office, a formal demand for the return of trust assets, plus notice of potential civil action for breach of fiduciary duty. The second was from the bank. Your co-signer has declined to participate in refinancing. You have 90 days to secure alternative arrangements, or foreclosure proceedings will begin. Richard's hands shook so badly he had to sit down. For 36 years, they had treated Gabrielle as someone who would always give, always forgive, always come back. They never considered what would happen when she stopped. Part 4. When the foundation walks away, consequence climax. Objective. Show concrete consequences for each antagonist, plus deliver emotional satisfaction, plus Gabrielle claims her power. Timeline. 4 to 5 months after the engagement dinner. Key points to develop. A. The parents' world collapses. Without Gabrielle's income, the bank denies their refinancing application. They try other lenders, all reject them. They have two choices: sell the house they've lived in for 35 years, or lose it to foreclosure. They choose to sell, but the market is slow. After realtor fees and paying off the mortgage balance, they're left with barely enough for a security deposit on a small 2-bedroom apartment. For the first time in their lives, Richard and Donna must budget, must sacrifice, must experience what they demanded of Gabrielle her entire life. Part 1. The Invisible Provider. Objective: build deep empathy for Gabrielle, plus set up all conspiracy elements, plus plant subtle hints, without revealing timeline. Afternoon before the engagement dinner. Key points to develop. Donna calls Gabrielle 17 times. Gabrielle doesn't answer. Donna leaves voicemails that cycle through guilt. How could you do this to your own parents? Bargaining. We can work something out, just call us back. And finally, something almost like honesty. We didn't think you'd actually leave. B. Natalie loses everything she schemed for. When Mr. Harrison's demand letter arrives, Natalie panics. She can't afford a lawyer. She can't afford anything. Then Marcus finds out the truth, that Natalie was never the heir, that she showed him doctored documents, that the entire scheme was based on her lies. He doesn't yell. He doesn't argue. He simply packs his things and leaves within 48 hours. You told me you were getting the money, he says flatly. You lied to me from the start. The irony, a manipulator being manipulated, is lost on Natalie. She only sees that she's lost. For the first time at 32, Natalie must work. Really work, not a part-time job she can quit when it gets hard. She becomes a retail associate at a department store. Within the first month, she's written up twice for tardiness and once for attitude issues with a customer. There's no parents to complain to her manager, no one to fix things for her. The princess crown has shattered. Say, Marcus gets exactly what he deserves. He tries to contact Gabrielle, texts that start apologetic, I didn't know the full picture, and gradually become accusatory. If you hadn't hidden how much money you actually had, none of this would have happened. Gabrielle reads the messages with something like amusement. He's still blaming everyone but himself. She doesn't block him. She doesn't respond. He doesn't deserve her anger. He doesn't even deserve acknowledgement. She hears through mutual friends that he's bounced between 3 apartments in 4 months, that his reputation in their professional circle is destroyed, that he's been seen at bars alone more often than not. He bet on lies and lost everything. D. The confrontation. Gabrielle claims her power. Her parents show up at her apartment unannounced, Natalie reluctantly in tow. They want to talk as a family. Gabrielle could refuse. She almost does. But there's something she needs them to see. She lets them in. They sit in her living room, the apartment she bought with her own money, furnished with things she chose for herself. They look uncomfortable here, in a space that owes them nothing. Her mother starts, Gabby, this has gone too far. We're family. Families forgive each other. Gabrielle places a folder on the coffee table. Inside, 8 years of bank statements, every mortgage payment highlighted. $268,800 in yellow marker. You're right, Mom. Families do forgive. But first, families acknowledge. She taps the folder. I've been supporting this family for 8 years. $268,000. And not once, not a single time, did any of you say thank you. Did you even know the exact number? Did you ever think about what I gave up to send that money every month? Silence. Her father tries. We didn't know you'd react this way. Gabrielle almost laughs. No, you didn't think I'd react at all, because I never have. That's the problem, isn't it? You were so used to me giving that you forgot I was a person who could stop. She looks at Natalie, who won't meet her eyes. And you. You knew about Grandma's trust for 3 years. 3 years of planning, scheming, manipulating. Was it worth it? Natalie says nothing. A. Gabrielle prepares for her special night. She examines her modest engagement ring, a small diamond Marcus gave her. He claimed he was saving for their future, but sometimes she wonders why an investment consultant couldn't afford something better. She pushes the thought away. She remembers Grandma Eleanor once promised her the family heirloom ring, but after Grandma passed 10 years ago, her parents said she left nothing behind. Gabrielle war 26 then. Gabrielle stands. I want you to leave now. I don't hate you, any of you. Hating you would mean I'm still letting you control how I feel, but I'm done being the person you use and discard. If you want me in your lives someday, You'll have to earn it, like everyone else. They leave without another word. It's the first time Gabrielle has ever asked them to leave. It's the first time they've ever listened. E. The ring returns Natalie, facing the demand letter and unable to afford legal defense, returns the ring. But it's not just the small engagement ring from Marcus, it's Grandma Eleanor's diamond, the one from the trust. Natalie had been wearing it for months, telling people Marcus gave it to her. One more lie in a mountain of lies. When the ring arrives by certified mail, Gabrielle opens the box alone. The diamond catches the light. It's heavier than she imagined. "Grandma," she whispers, "I finally understand what you meant." Cliffhanger. Her family left that day with nothing resolved. No tearful reconciliation. No promises of change. Just the beginning of a long road that Gabrielle was no longer obligated to walk with them. She held the ring up to the window, watching it catch the afternoon sun. For 36 years, she'd been waiting to be seen. Now, finally, she realised. She didn't need them to see her. She just needed to see herself. Part 5. The life she built herself. Objective. Provide mature closure plus powerful message for 55, plus female audience plus earned peace, not cheap happiness. Timeline. 8 months after the engagement dinner. Key points to develop. A. Gabrielle's new chapter. She accepted a promotion that required relocating to Seattle. Her new apartment is small but entirely hers. She's learning to fill it with things that make her happy, not things that make her invisible. She started dating again, carefully, slowly. The man she's seeing is a veterinarian named Daniel who knows nothing about her family drama. On their third date, he asked about her family. She said simply, "We're not close. Maybe someday, but not now." He nodded and changed the subject to his rescue dogs. She appreciated that more than she could say. B. Natalie's attempt at reconciliation. 8 months later, Natalie appears at her door, thinner, exhausted, dressed in clothes that have seen too many wash cycles. No makeup, no performance. For once, she looks exactly as broken as she is. "Can I come in?" Her voice is small. Gabrielle considers, then steps aside. Natalie doesn't sit. She stands in the middle of Gabrielle's living room, arms wrapped around herself, and for the first time in their lives, tells the truth. "I hated you. My whole life, I hated you. Grandma loved you more. She always lit up when you walked in, and when she was dying, she held your hand. Not mine. Yours." Her last words were for you, Natalie's voice cracks. "I thought if I could take what you had, the money, the ring, Marcus, everything, maybe I'd finally feel like I was enough. Like someone chose me." She wipes her face roughly. "I was wrong. I destroyed the only sister I had because I couldn't stand that you were better than me." Gabrielle listens without interrupting. This is what she needed to hear. Not the apology, but the truth. Finally, the truth. C. Forgiveness with boundaries. When Natalie finishes, Gabrielle speaks carefully. "I don't hate you, Natalie. I used to think I did, but I don't. Hating you would mean I'm still carrying what you did. I'm done carrying things for people who never asked how heavy they were." Natalie looks up, hope flickering. Building her career in another city. She had no reason to doubt them. "But I also can't pretend none of this happened. You didn't just take a ring. You spent 3 years manipulating me. You used Marcus. You used Mom and Dad. You were willing to destroy my entire future because you couldn't deal with your own pain." The hope fades. "If you want me in your life, really want me, not just want what I can give you, then you need to build that trust from nothing. Get therapy. Keep your job. Learn who you are when you're not performing for anyone. And maybe in a year or 2 we can try again. But I can't do it for you. No one can." There's no hug, no tears of reconciliation. But for the first time, something honest has passed between them. Natalie nods and leaves quietly. The door closes. It's not forgiveness. Not yet. But it's not hate either. It's something Gabrielle never had before. A boundary. D. The message Marcus never earned. 3 weeks later, another message appears. "Gabby, I know you probably won't respond, but I need you to understand. I was manipulated too. Natalie lied to me. I'm not the villain here. If you'd just talk to me, you'd see I was a victim in this too. Please. I deserve a chance to explain." Gabrielle reads it twice. Then she types a response. Her first and last. "You weren't manipulated, Marcus. You were greedy. You saw what you thought was money and you grabbed for it. The only difference between you and Natalie is that she lied better." She hits send. Then she blocks his number. She doesn't need his apology. She doesn't need his explanation. She doesn't need anything from him at all. E. The ring finds its true meaning. On a quiet Sunday morning, Gabrielle opens the box containing Grandma Eleanor's ring. She's looked at it many times over the past months, but never worn it. Today feels different. She slides it onto her right hand, not her left. This isn't an engagement ring. It isn't a promise to anyone else. It's a promise to herself. In the box, beneath the velvet, she finds something she'd missed before, a folded piece of paper. Eleanor's handwriting, shaky but determined. My dearest Gabby, if you're reading this, then you finally know the truth. I'm sorry I couldn't protect you while I was alive. I saw how they treated you, how they took and never gave back. I wanted to stop it, but I was old and sick, and they had already decided who you were supposed to be. But here's what I need you to know. You were never invisible to me, not for one single day. You were the light of my life. You were the one who sat with me when I was lonely, who listened when I rambled, who loved me without wanting anything in return. That's why I left everything to you. Not because I loved you more than Natalie, but because you were the only one who never made me feel like a bank account. You made me feel like a grandmother. Go live the life you deserve, my sweet girl. Not the one they told you to accept. All my love, forever, Grandma. Gabrielle reads it 3 times. Then she holds it to her chest and cries, not from sadness, but from something like relief, like finally being seen by someone who mattered. Closing monologue. For 36 years, I believed that if I gave enough, sacrificed enough, made myself small enough, my family would finally see me. I was wrong. They saw me the entire time. They just never thought I was worth valuing. But here's what they never understood. The person who gives everything is also the person who can walk away. And when I finally walked, their whole world collapsed, while mine began. I don't hate my family. I don't wish them harm. I simply no longer build my life around people who only noticed me when I stopped giving. Grandma Eleanor told me I deserved to be loved. It took me 36 years to believe her. Now I do. And that, finally, is freedom. B. The pattern of erasure. Flashback. Every achievement was met with. You're fine, now help your sister. Her college scholarship was redirected so Natalie could attend a private school. When she graduated top of her class, her parents missed the ceremony to comfort Natalie over a breakup. Grandma Eleanor was the only one who saw her. At Grandma's deathbed, she held Gabrielle's hand and whispered, "You deserve to be loved, Gabby." I've made sure of it. Gabrielle never understood what that meant. She also remembers Natalie was in the room. Natalie heard everything. And Natalie never looked at her the same way again. C. The financial truth no one acknowledges. 8 years ago, her father lost his job. Gabrielle became co-signer on the mortgage and has paid $2,800 a month ever since, $268,800 total. She has bank records of every transfer. But when she once suggested creating a formal loan agreement, her mother said, "We're family. We don't need paperwork. Don't you trust us?" Gabrielle dropped it. She always drops it.